Hello, everyone. I know it's that festive time of year. I'm trying to get my spirits up. Am I? Jingle bells. Hi, welcome to Two Tutors Talking. I am your lovely host, Audrey Codner, and I want to welcome you to the last Two Tutors Talking of 2023. I know you almost got scared for a second. I know. Well, since I wanted to really just kind of profess to you some of the things that almost like a reflection, but some of the things that I'm noticing with a lot of tutors nowadays. So I just definitely wanted to kind of reach out and just really kind of give you some food for thought because around this time usually a lot of teachers are okay, they're going on their winter break, so now they actually thank you, now they're actually trying to kind of get into the whole, okay, I just did almost a semester, now I got time to think, what is it that I want to do, what are my next steps, and how exactly am I going to kind of profess to my next venture in life. So I just wanted to kind of reach out just to talk with you guys. Like, really, let's have a full on discussion. Okay. So I know there's a cat that's trying to jump on my lap. So I was just kind of doing like a whole type of search. And after having a whole year of so many different things, so many different experiences that I haven't had, now I want to kind of reach out to you guys. So, as tutors, you're going to say, okay, Audrey, I'm still looking for my best client. I'm still looking for people. And I still just, I'm not reaching where I want to go. And I've been doing this for literally a month. Okay. This is what's killing me right now. This one right here. Okay. I love you, but stop. Okay. um, but it just seems like we really need to kind of take a deep dive. And that's the reason why I wanted to say we're going to do one to one really briefly about the foundations of building a business. Trust me, I wasn't born and bred to be a business owner. It was just a matter of one, I wanted to do something that's going to reach not just the people just in my surrounding area, but people that around the world and people that need me. And when I say need me, I don't mean like I want to be on your every single solitary word, Audrey. And I'm like, nah, that's a little weird for me. I feel like if someone's like, I need a little assistance. I need a kick in the butt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of thing that I want to provide. So when people come and they say, "Hey, Audrey, can you summarize this thing for me?" The basketball side of me, the aggressor, the monster, the thing that people have created me to become kicks in. And then I will want to say, you can go kick rocks because if you want to get this business, if you want to do something that is bigger than yourself, you're going to have to learn how to do all the things. I'm here to help guide. Like, I'm sharing my experiences, I'm sharing some of my expertise, but remember, my expertise is going to be a little different from your expertise. So, it's never going to be cut and dry. It's never going to be a magic pill. So, when we sit here and we talk about building a business, like for me, I can say this will go for any business, but I want to focus on tutoring. Because when I finally made the decision to be a tutor, it wasn't like I was born and bred to always be a tutor. I wanted to be an educator. And I felt like when I was in the classroom, I couldn't do what I worked my butt off to do. And I had to do a lot of sacrificing and I had to put some things on the back burner. But for the most part, I know that I loved when I saw my kids say, I think I got it. I loved when I had those kids that that in the beginning did not want to volunteer, did not want to do anything, but now they're volunteering, now they're helping people in groups. And just to see that and see that on doing it on their own, not because I told them to, because they wanted to. That's what made me go into education. And I felt that the more and more I was in the classroom, the less and less I was getting that. And that's supposed to be the whole premise of teaching. There's storytelling. There is proofing of fact. There is like getting an answer, but understanding how you can apply that answer. That's the whole discovery. Now it's all about test scores and grades, and people just get so enamored by all that that they forget about the learning. So we got kids graduating that can't read above a first grade level. We got kids that are graduating that can't add, subtract, multiply, or divide, even with the calculator. So I want to say my personal pursuit is I want to change education, but all I can do right now, and I know I have to learn to stop thinking small, is to basically take on who needs my assistance and really to go out and get it. And when it comes down to, I was watching the other day, do you ever hear of the movie what was called Maid of Manhattan with Jennifer Lopez and Bob Hoskins? If you're like, who's Bob Hoskins, Audrey? I'm like, well, if you remember Roger Rabbit, he was the detective. That's all I remember. Like he probably had so many movies out there, but this is the one that kind of spoke to me. And there was something that it was close to the end when I'm gonna kind of ruin it for those that have never seen Maid in Manhattan. Like, really, guys, it's almost like 10 years old. Like, stop. Um, when Jennifer Lopez, she was a maid at a particular hotel and she portrayed herself as a socialite, and then she got caught, she got fired, and all of a sudden she fell in love with a future senator. Yeah, here we go. Real life stuff. Um, that's gonna happen to me next week. Um, but for the most part, at the end, Bob Haskins, his role was he was in charge of the service, like the laundry department, all the maids and everything. And he decided to leave. And she was like, "Oh no, like, did you get fired because of me? Oh my goodness." And he was like, "No, because things have changed." And then he had a part in the movie that I wanna read off, and I really want everyone to, like, really sit and listen to this. And it was too much for me to type because it didn't fit, so I'm just gonna read it off. To serve people takes dignity, diligence, and intelligence. But remember, they're only people with money. Know that we serve them, but we are not their servants. A lot of us get into the point that we need clients. Yes, we do. Again, with the fan. We do need clients. We need people that we want to serve, but we are not their servants. And that happens a lot, especially in the service industry when it comes to business. Product, you can get a product. Oh, here's a phone. Okay, it costs this much. This is what it does. Does it fit in your life? Awesome. Buy it. But when it comes to service, how can you show your value? The only way that you could show your value is someone actually partakes in that service. But there's a lot of people that think that, oh, I paid for an hour and I want you to do this, this, and this, and this. And a lot of it is because a lot of us don't really set those boundaries. Okay. In order for you to really set those boundaries, you need to know yourself. You need to like yourself. Because I'm seeing a lot of teachers that are trying to become tutors and they're trying to hide behind something. They're trying to hide behind those stock photos. They're trying to hide behind, if you turn your computer off and you reboot your computer on, how many of you guys have a picture of a beach? How many of you guys have a picture of a mountain, water, a dream house? A lot of you do, because that's where you want to be. But now, if you're thinking about doing tutoring full time, you got to do the work to make that imagination, to make your, what is it, your dream board a reality. You have to put some work into it. So it's almost like, I can't believe I'm quoting Beyonce, but here we are. She's like, you got to know the miss before becoming the misses. You got to know who you are as a person What is your integrity? What are the things are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And be truthful to yourself before you jump into this thing called a business. Because business, it is what it is. It's going to be testing your integrity. It's going to be testing you to a limit that you're going to be in a corner crying like, why did I leave that job? Maybe I should go back as a sub. No, I'm a type of person, I don't move backwards, I move forwards. And I know you're probably saying, oh, Audrey, I wish I was as strong as you. You are. You just have to get out of your own way. But if you're going to try to take and build this business like on the cheap, it's not going to be a good look, sweetie. It's really not. And the main thing that you have to do is start. And I heard this over one of my motivational videos. I listen to motivational videos when I work out. I don't listen to music. I like to be pumped up. I love when I listen to Eric Thomas and Steve Harvey and all these like Tyrone Gibson, and usually it's like a whole collaboration, like a compile of different speeches, and I listen to them and it motivates me. Next thing you know, I'm putting 45s on both sides and I'm cranking it out um, because I love to lift. Okay, but one person said, "Don't be afraid of starting." Be afraid of never starting and then complaining about it. Think about it. How many times have you said, you know what? I'm going to take this weight off. My waist is going to be snatched by the time everything is all said and done. I'm going to be looking good by the time like Easter, and I already got the bonnet. I got the body. That's what's going to happen. And everyone floods the gym. January, hate it, but I got to deal with it. But let the very first snowstorm happen. All of a sudden, I got my gym back. It happens every year. Everyone's motivated, motivated, motivated. And all of a sudden, when you got one thing that gets in the way, then you stop going. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or I'll do it next week. Or I'll do it the week after. And it always seems like we have this whole thing called like, oh, let me do this 30-day program. Okay, let me do like I just finished my 14-day Kickstarter. I'm kind of curious, which I'll be sending a message out soon, how many people are still continuing to do the work that I basically broke things down for people? Because I'll bet you some people took a day. They're like, oh, I don't have to get up early in the morning, or oh, I don't have to stay up late at night. Now I can get my time schedule back. So to me, I take that personal because I took time to break things down, to use things for you to advance. And I see a lot of people, they start, but they don't put the action behind it to keep going because they're like, this is too hard. So it's almost like you got to change that mindset from, okay, let me just do it for 30 days and then I can be perfectly fine. And I'll be fine for like a good week, maybe, but then you go right back to your old ways. Instead of thinking of it as a short term thing, oh, I got a really great deal. Joined this program for like $7. Oh, this was awesome. It was 7 days. There was so much information. It was great. Now, there's a difference between giving yourself time to basically look over the stuff and break it down. No, no, no. That means you're not taking a break. You're just really trying to have that stuff marinate in your brain, and that's perfectly fine. But what I'm talking about is the ones that jump on that 7 day, great suggestions or program, that 14-day, that 30-day program that, oh, I only got it for like $20. This was great. Why do you think there's always another 20, another 10, another 7, 15-day program? Because a lot of people do that. They start, but they don't finish. It's almost like we got to change that mindset from like short term to this is going to be my new life. Instead of like, okay, let me take this pill, which is basically a caffeine pill. Okay, let me take this. Okay, and let me eat salads. By the way, salads is the worst things that you can eat. We'll talk later if you want to know more information about that. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you just say, you know what, I'm going to have a steak instead of the salad. That's all it takes is one time. And you're like, oh, I can get right back to it. I can get right back to it. But then you have like some of that drool. You're like, I remember that steak. It was so delicious. And then all of a sudden you go right back into it. And then you gain the weight that you lost plus some. Same thing happens with your business. You get excited and then you lose that excitement and then you're looking for, oh, something else to entertain me. You got to think of it as this is a change for the rest of your life. If you're not willing to put in that dedication and if you're not willing to push forward, then don't do it. Trust me. Because guess what? Getting to the future is very expensive. You may be able to start on the cheap because really tutoring, you need a computer, you need an internet. Hell, you can get Canva and then you can just start publicizing. You got Facebook for right now is for free. Who knows what's going to happen soon? Then you got Instagram, that's for free. Who knows what's going to happen soon? And the same with TikTok and you can start anywhere and anywhere. You could just tell your family and friends how you're going to do things. But it's going to get expensive because things all of a sudden that used to be free is a membership. And all of a sudden that membership was at this price and then a year later it's at this price and a year later it's at this price. Everything is growing, but your income is not. Because what are you doing? Oh, I guess I'll do that tomorrow. Or you know what? I'll just ask Audrey. She's always available. Well, guess what? Soon enough, people, things are going to change. That's why I'm giving myself a break. I'm rebranding. I'm growing. And those that want it, you can find me, ride with me, my ride and dies. Let's go. Because I want you to win. But at the same time, I don't want people just coming and then sitting. I'm not that type of person. Even when I was on the basketball court, I did not tolerate lazy teammates. My high school team, no one was lazy. Everyone was on focus. College team, no lazy people. Everyone was focused. Now, when I went pro, there was some lazy people. Like I was the person that if you're on the bench and I didn't think you were lifting more, like you can lift more, I would put the plates on. And I know people are like, oh, girl, I would have knocked you out. Yeah, go ahead, try. Mm-mm. I want the best. Same thing when I was in the classroom. If I'm in Algebra 2 and you're an Algebra 2 teacher and we're supposed to be working together and I noticed that you were slacking off, I would say, step it up. Step it up. Because if I have to take all 75 kids, I will. But I need for you to step it up. I don't want you to sit here and say, oh, do you have a copy of the new quiz? I'm like, yeah, I got the quiz that I made. Where's the quiz that you made? That was me. That was the type of person. And I still carry that mentality in my business. You cannot just sit here and just sacrifice. So this is why I keep saying comfort and success, they don't walk together. They are not on the same path. They are not in the same neighborhood. So if you think that you're going to have a business and be able to be comfortable from the beginning, you are going to be sadly mistaken. You're going to have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So it's just like what Eric Thomas is saying. There's three things you should know. One, you're going to have to sacrifice everything. There's going to be some things that you're going to have to put on the back burner that has to get your time. You got to get that time management down packed. So it's not, oh, let me get up in the morning, do some stuff, and then let me take a 5-hour nap, and then let me sit and watch 90 Day Fiance, which is crazy. But watch those reruns and watch the pillow talk right after it, and then watch a little bit of inserts of the single life, and then oh wait, it's 9 o'clock at night. Okay, and then let me go get something to eat. And what did you do with your business? So you have to organize that time even better. Again, you're going to have to surrender comfort. There's going to be times that you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Like for me, you can't believe it. I'm not really an extrovert. I play one on TV. So for me, shutting all this stuff down and then keeping myself in my home, I am perfectly fine. I do not like going to parties. Like Christmas parties, stop inviting me. I'm never going to come. Thanksgiving, not going to come. I'm going to go see my mom and then I'm going to come back the same day because I don't sit around and socialize too much. It makes me crazy. And all the time, I'm going to be thinking about my business anyway. So when it comes down to that's my comfort, being by myself, thinking about my business, thinking of opportunities, thinking big instead of just being associated with other people that are in the same line life as me, really socializing with other people. In order for me to do that, I had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to learn to talk to people. I had to learn to reach out to people who have podcasts that I could actually present who I am and what I do on their podcast on top of what I'm doing. Is me to sit down and find motivational books and videos and audiobooks to really inspire me to want to do more, but to do it smart. And then the other part is this. This is key for me from Eric Thomas. Get rid of fear, pride, and ego. Chuck all that. No one cares how long you've been tutoring. Oh, I've been tutoring for 20 years. No one cares. Can you tutor today? Can you do what my child needs right here, right now? What is your pricing? What is your schedule? Does it match up? Okay. No one cares about your hurt, about your fear. Fear is fake. And I have to remind myself, even to this day, that fear is a fake emotion. My pride, that whole thing of, oh, how long I've been doing this doesn't matter. And your ego, kick rocks. Okay. So you need to get rid of all that and just focus on what you want. Not so much the how. Write down your dream, write down what you want. And then what is that first action and do it. If that means I need to make sure I have a business plan, how much do I want to charge? Have that down solid. How many spaces do I have? If I want to do certain levels, if I want to do groups, okay, what happens if every space doesn't have group? How many individual students can I take in? Get to know that. That's getting to know you. How many students do you want to have? If you want to make what, $100,000, but you're only charging $40 per kid and you only want to work 4 days a week for 2 hours, boo boo, ain't happening. Okay? It's just not happening, no matter how hard you try. So you have to be real with yourself. And when you have somebody in your corner that's like, yes, I want you to win. I'm not saying use them and say, oh, well, can you just write the summary for that? Or, oh, Audrey, can you just write a blog for me? Or can you just write a template? No, there's something called Chat GPT. You can do that. There's AI almost on every platform right now that you can type in what you want. I ain't your slave. They ain't doing it. Okay. So we're not getting it done. If you want to get done and you want to be successful, then you go out and get it. You have to do that. So the foundational pieces of all this, here's the thing. You got to put something in order to get something out. And I have my friend, Dr. No Days Off. You should look him up if you're into business. He will always say there's no 0 days. You got to do something with your business. Either you're writing an email, you're making a post, you're doing a video, something that easy will take like an hour. Editing a video, like about 2 hours, depending on how much you got to do. Um, but for the most part, you got to put something in. Sitting around hoping and wishing and praying and dreaming is not it. Even God said you got to put some kind of action to it because he can only do so much. You got to put that action to it. And if it's not tutoring, if it's making soap, making body butters, I feel like everybody in Baltimore making body butters, but here we go. But if they're selling it, go ahead. If you got that magic mixture, go on. It doesn't matter. You still got to put the work into it. And I'll go back to this again. Don't be afraid to start. You have to start somewhere. I love when people try to put their negativity on me and say, oh, Audrey, you just starting. Of course. Shoot, Oprah had to start somewhere. Everybody had to start somewhere. Joanne Comiskey had to start somewhere. She was in the classroom, all of a sudden left, figured out what she had to do, put her program together, and then she had to go through it. She didn't start with like 10,000 people. Another person didn't start with 5,000 people. If you did, God bless you. Good job. Everybody has to start somewhere, and it takes one person. And if you do right by that one person, you know things will grow exponentially. So when you come up with all these, you have to remember, know your value, know your worth. And if you're not sure, and hey, this is during the time where I got one more day and then I'm basically unemployed for about 2.5 weeks because that's how tutoring is. That's the real thing. I'm telling you, you're probably going to tutor like maybe 36 to probably 38 weeks out of the whole year. That's real talk. But when those down times come, don't just sit down, kick up, and you're just drinking your tea like, oh, well, we'll figure it out later. No, you still got to put some plan in your mind. You still got to get that mindset. So one of the things that I can suggest that really helps is to either read or you can go on YouTube. There's a free audiobook of The Magic of Thinking Big. A lot of us, the reason why we're not successful is because we think too small. We always think of like, what's right here? Instead of just thinking about what's right here, let's think of the whole thing. What do you want? What is it that you want? You got that beach screensaver. Where in the world is that beach screensaver? A lot of us just say, oh, I just like the beach. And then you save the screensaver, but you don't even know where it's at. Take a look to find out where it's at. And then do your research, write it down and make it plain. All right. Now, how are you going to make that goal of either visiting there or maybe even living there? Would you live in that area? And do some research and write that down. What do you got to do to make that a reality? What do you got to do? How much does it cost for a round trip ticket? Or maybe even one way? Because the way life is, why not? And what do you have to do in order to make that dream a reality? Write it down. I want to do something big with education that can help teachers because teachers, there's two things that you want. You want time and you want financial freedom. And I'm trying to come up with a plan and it's starting to gel together. When it's ready, I will let you know what it is. So please don't message like, oh, Audrey, what's your thing? Because I'm not going to tell you. All right. So I'm trying to come up with a plan that is almost like a win-win situation. And it can be a win-win-win situation. But in order for me to do that, I need to write some things down. What are some of the things that teachers need? What are some of the things that school officials need? What are some of the things that district officials need? And then see what is the commonality and put it together and come up with some kind of proposal. And would I go to our superintendent with it? Yes, I will. And I will record it just in case she tries to steal my stuff. You try to be slick. But that's what you got to do. But you have to think big. That means I can't surround myself with people that are in the same mindset as me. I have to surround myself with people that are up here. I'm sorry. I love my mother dearly, but she was raised in a different time. I'm not that. So I have to put myself up here. Do I still call my mother? Yes, I do. Am I one of those people that call my mom every blessed day? No, because I don't sit and gossip. What do I need to gossip about? But when it comes to the bigger picture, we only got one life. We wasted our youth trying to be older. Now that we're older, we're trying to be younger. And by the time we're at our deathbed, we're going to sit here like, man, I wasted my life. Well, then let's start now. Start making changes now. So with all this, the year's coming down. to an end, but the school year is not. Parents, stop waiting to the last minute to try to get help for your children. Tutors, stop holding back your gift and not promoting yourself. Do a post. You don't have to work for a third party because they're going to take 30% right off the cup. And then all of a sudden you're doing 100% of the work. Why? Because they know how to market. They don't have to market anymore. You do. You need to go out and put yourself out there and stop being afraid to put yourself out there and do your research. You're going to mess up, but guess what? Learn from that mess up and then move forward. Don't look behind you. You're going to turn to a pillar of salt. So keep moving forward. Don't worry about the past. Past is just that, behind you. So when it comes here, you're going to do things that you're not comfortable with. Now, I'm not saying for you to like go down to Baltimore Street and start stripping and all that stuff because I'm just trying to support my tutoring business. No, we don't have to take it that far. Okay. Reel it on back. But what I am saying is if this is something that you want to do, you really need to come into fruition by putting it into action and to get started. Tell your family and friends. Make a post on social media. Look at some of the social media, especially the Facebook groups that of your interest. I'm giving you this information. But guess what? I'm not going to give it to you again. So hopefully you're writing it down or you're watching this video. But you have to put it into action. It doesn't matter the business, but put it into action. So with that being said, I will not be here. I'm going to disappear. I want to say I'm going to disappear off the face of the earth, but I'm just going to disappear until January 1st. So anything you need, you might see me pop up here and there on TikTok. You can pop in and say hello. Maybe you might want to say a quick little hi on Facebook or Instagram. But having all these meetings and all this stuff just because you're free doesn't mean that I'm going to be free. I need to revamp. I need to redo, but not completely obliviate because I know there's a lot of service. There's a lot of people that need us. So I will have to say Merry Christmas. I know people are finishing up with Kwanzaa. I mean, for Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all the religions. Okay. And then Happy New Year. Really take a moment to think about yourself, to really take an inventory of what you want and go after it. Don't wait because tomorrow is not guaranteed. So you might as well put all of your hope and your effort into it right now. And if you do wake up tomorrow, guess what? You're going to put another action into it. And then you're going to build up another action. Don't sleep on it. Okay? All right. Have a great